You are now live. How?
Hi. Dortwood Observatory here. Now we can figure out how to invite, or if Rachel can
Oh,
find your way
there
here.
we go. Cobourg Observatory.
Curious to wait and see where we. Oh, what's that say?
Hang on, we're telling more people, followers, that you're to join. You wave. I know Cobourg sent a request. Oh, there goes.
Where is it?
Oh, Cobourg joined.
The joint. So you're here?
So you're here? Somewhere?
We don't see you. Oh.
Cobourg. Request. Yeah.
Okay, we're not sure how this.
We're not sure how it's working.
Was first time on this one. Didn't work on the laptop.
Oh,
there. Oh, okay. Hold on. We're gonna flip now.
Awesome.
Okay.
We got a right angle.
We did it.
Let's squeeze in.
Aw. Hey.
Yeah, we want to make sure the phone doesn't fall on top of us here.
There you go.
Now we're doing some adjustments. Yeah, the laptop's not obviously. It nowhere even posts from the laptop. You can just put a normal post up. So I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, that's okay. Let's get right into it and move forward, right?
okay.
All right. So my name is Rachel, and I am here at the Cobourg Public Library, where you can find things like this cool lonoscope that you can check out just like a book. And that is thanks to our partners and friends at Dortwood Observatory. And I would like to introduce them to you right now. This is David and Carolyn. They are owners of Dortwood Observatory and huge supporters of the Cobourg Public Library. And we are so, so, so happy that this is actually happening.
Technology, it either works or it doesn't.
I know. So here we are. If you want to give a little bit of insight into exactly what Dortwood offers, and what made you so passionate about creating an observatory?
Well, I guess we should start from where it started, I suppose. I grew up in Cobourg, if no one knows that. Born and raised here, spent most of my time here. Did move away for jobs, this and that. But also joined Air Cadets, so we had dark skies and with the flying thing in the head. It stayed for a long time, and then, of course, life takes over. We all have to work, and life, that just happens. But then eventually the opportunity came to see Saturn for the very first time in an actual telescope. So at that point, I'd not owned one or had used one. And after that, I went out immediately and bought a telescope. And it was shortly after I met this lovely woman. And then the story began.
Yeah, so then we had telescopes at home. We were out in the driveway all the time looking, and we bought ourselves a sky shed pod, which is a personal observatory dome. And then we just decided we better start showing it to people. So we started to invite people over, and then we had a visitor center, and then we had groups, and then it snowballed. And then when we went down, we had the summer eclipse, which is, we were at the library for that, and we raised enough money at that time to buy the 2 telescopes that we donated to the library, thanks to the lovely people that came out and bought solar shades and stuff on the eclipse. And yeah, now it's just a matter of we want to get them into as many places as possible. We've given one out to another school, and we have another one that we're thinking about giving out soon. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And so many people don't realize that we have them, and they can take them out to borrow. So just so everyone out there who's listening knows, these babies, we have a couple of them here, and we're blessed to have both of you help us when something happens to them, but you can take them out like you would a book. So it's called a lonoscope program, and they're available at the Cobourg location as well as our Bewley branch.
Yeah,
awesome.
we don't have, we wanted to get some that were easy enough to use so that you didn't have to worry about a little wobble in the table or something. So they're big.
They are big.
But the kids can use them. They can get on them. They can, move them around. They're not little tiny things that are.
As we already know,
because
they're almost indestructible.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's so big. Like it's on the ground right now, and I'm sitting, but it's that tall. So it's pretty nice, and it's a great way to explore space and learn more, and kind of use the resources that we have here at the library as well. to enjoy.
It's very cool because you can get into some pretty complicated telescope systems. That
Yeah, we wanted something easy that everybody
learning
could
too
use.
curves too big, so keeping it simple is a factor.
So
And
yeah, we
keeping
provided
it,
information and books and
tough enough to handle the public.
Yes, absolutely. And just so everyone here knows, like if you take one of these out from the library and you have more intensive questions that you get into, you can always reach out to Dortwood and they're happy to talk to you about any questions that you might have. And I wanted to make sure that people do know that you are still taking small groups, I think it was, you said. So how is that working out?
We're still, it's actually working. Actually, the, you know how the pandemic worked for everything is still causing problems. I mean, it shut us down as far as having open house public because we could have as many as people. We actually had quite a few people. So we'd bought this adapter for a phone adapter for people to actually put to the telescope when they were here, and they could take their own pictures with their own phone as memories.
Yeah.
And it was just like literally it's happened. We went, oh, now what are we going to do? So, okay, well, let's the telescope and let's go live. So we can show the moon, Jupiter, Saturn, and anything else that we possibly can just using a basic phone system. So that got us out of the doldrums, I guess you'd say,
yes.
kept us relevant.
Yes.
And it's been going actually really well. And then now with the, I know, somewhat open, we're only doing 5 people. If you got 6 in your family, that's fine, but we won't push it beyond that. But 5, I prefer to keep a family group or, a friend group. So the contacts are still, close. And we're open 4 appointments, Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Well, we make those days available. We only book 2 of those days a week. Once 2 are booked, the third not available.
Because I'm still working full time, and it's a lot of
retirement is coming. We've already planned it.
Good for you. That's incredible. Yeah, that's amazing. And I mean, you're located just outside of Cobourg, so it's a very convenient spot to get to if this is something that interests you.
Yes, get it while you can.
Get it while you can, because part of the retirement is relocation, unfortunately.
Where
Yeah.
are you going?
North.
We're going
North. Yeah.
Well,
we're looking fairly far north. We're trying to get back to dark skies.
I was just thinking, I wonder why. Perhaps no light pollution. Yeah.
They're growing around us, and it's happening. Well,
we get more
20
and more
years is
people.
quite a difference. So just at this location, never mind in town, but
yeah,
and just economics. But we
Because
really can't stay in Northumberland. We got to retire. We can't do it on our pensions.
Yeah.
So,
no, it's horrible, really.
I got 4 years before that kicks in. So, but
so
my body said no. So we're gonna take. We have a house. We have. We're gonna take that. And we're gonna run north.
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable. Yeah. Look for that's the thing. So many people start to love the idea of space and the planets and different things when they're younger in school, and they might not get that opportunity to go out into like Northern Ontario and see the vast greatness that is the sky out there, because there is quite a bit of light pollution and people in cities and towns. And I just think it's a great opportunity for anyone who's interested to learn that there is an observatory in our area and it is available to you. And we do have these lonoscopes here, and those are also available to you. And it's at no cost, the lonoscope. So it's a wonderful resource. Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, we're going to have somebody look after them.
Yes.
When we move on, there'll be somebody to continue the maintenance end of it.
On that end, yeah.
Yeah.
And the next thing is, once we get up there, we're gonna Dortwood will take on a different form somewhat. We may not do as much personal public stuff, but we're gonna get a better system and allow us to maybe show more things.
Ooh.
And we'll just do a little bit more online stuff.
The phone's great, but it's not capable of doing.
There's
so much more you could do.
Yeah.
Now the laptop, we've got programs from our Facebook partners to do live with your laptop on Facebook, but our laptops are so, I guess, just old enough that they don't want to work because you need a lot of power, you need a lot of RAM, you need a lot of memory. So we're going to have to expand in the whole astronomy end of things, so we can have a full-on, and maybe even some Astro Camp weekend things.
Yeah, we're thinking if we get a place with a little bit of land, maybe we'll be able to do some Astro weekends, camping.
Our plans are evolving and
They're
evolving
evolving.
as we go.
Moment by moment.
refining them.
Such a good idea, though. And I mean, one of the things that I think is really fascinating about this whole about everything to do with space is that you don't necessarily need to have like an extensive education, an extensive educational background to be interested and to learn more. There's people in your own community right here that are a wealth of knowledge and have interesting information to share with you. These are two of those people, but there's also the library that you can use as a resource as well. So I was wondering from both of you, where did you get started when you were interested in the topic of space and of the observatory aspect of it and things like that?
Basically, like I say, once we got the decent telescope that I bought just before I met Carolyn, and once we met, and then I started getting more passionate about the whole
Just
thing.
reading.
And we're self-taught. We've just read books and
Read
watched
books,
as much
watched as many
videos and
programs
documentaries. And just keep pounding yourself with information, right? Eventually some of it sticks.
Magazines, lots of magazines with little articles, because then you can you keep up with the new stuff. And for us, it's quite funny because I am not a math person, so I find some of the concepts of astronomy to be totally mind-boggling. Luckily, David totally gets that stuff. I, however, look
not totally, but yeah.
But I can look out and give, I don't know, a different perspective. I give a perspective more of somebody that just looks out and sees the beauty and makes the connections between different things. And there are so many different types of connections you can make with space and humanity. And
we try to keep it simple and explain it to people because we learned as ourselves, like I say, ourselves, so it was simple to us.
We're self-taught.
And the way we work, so we try and relate that to people so they can understand it, because a lot of people don't
have
any idea what's
and
there.
just little simple concepts that people don't even realize, like that the sun and the star are the same thing. Like our sun is a star.
No, but
some
it's not
people don't
it's
even
not really that common knowledge, really.
It's just such a thing, but it really is something that is out there. People don't always catch that. I know it took me a little while, and I'm like, I'm into this stuff. So it's a lot of fun to just learn and to connect what is going on out there with what's happening here. And just remembering that we're on a spaceship. We talk about getting on a spaceship and going to other worlds. We are on a spaceship.
Best one
we are traveling through space constantly. And you get to look up at the sky, and that's our windshield, and you get to see what's out there. We could never build anything that could remotely be as good as the Earth. But there's just so much more involved. So take care of the one spaceship we got, because although it seems like everything's limitless, nah. Ask the Dinies. The dinosaurs, they know things can change in an instant. So I mean, it's.
Sorry.
We're blessed. Go ahead. We're blessed just to be on this rock.
Like using your knowledge and sharing it with other people is just obviously everything that the library is about and everything that Dortwood stands for as well. But I think it is really, really fascinating to know that, again, it's in your community. So everyone watching this, you likely know Dortwood exists because you're on their page. But if you don't, it's just something that if you haven't checked it out yet, definitely put it on your to-do list. They have COVID-safe protocols, and if you haven't visited them yet, make this an opportunity to show up as a reminder. And I guess I just wanted to also find out if anyone is interested in finding out more information about you, where they should go first. Would it be your Facebook, because that's where you're doing so many really cool lives? Or would you say like all of the social media platforms?
Facebook's probably our main place to put things, just because it's convenient, again, with the phone and the live streaming thing.
Yeah.
And most content, because as you would know, most of our content can be shared between the two pages. So posting on to the other one.
I don't.
Or you could tell it not to. Most times we've run into some weird things happening lately that
I don't actually have
you need
Instagram.
media to post to both now. So, good. Okay. We'll figure that one out. But Instagram, and we do have a Google business site there that we throw up some stuff like for events or pictures just here and there.
David keeps up on top of all the social media stuff.
Yeah.
That's not my forte.
I'm lone wolf on that one. Unfortunately, I can't do all this. like you can.
If people are interested in supporting you financially or otherwise, are there any ways that you would suggest they get in touch with you or can help out?
Through those pages, they can Google us and they'll
Mm-hmm.
get all the information, map, phone numbers. They can message us directly on that number.
And we take donations. We don't have we are a personal business.
Okay.
So we don't actually have, like, Dortwood's not registered as a business yet.
It's sole proprietorship.
Yeah, we're just a couple of people. So you can't actually, like, send something to Dortwood because we can't cash it.
Okay. That's very
But
good.
do you want to do, like,
Only exists in namesake.
we love
only.
cash, and no, anyway,
The tax man knows about it.
we do cover it, but it's covered as under a personal umbrella business. So we are planning to, we were planning to, just before COVID hit, do all of that, get a proper business and stuff. But because we don't intend to make a profit, everything we earn, we try to put back out into the community via, like, the Lonoscope program is our main thing. We want to have that in as many libraries as possible. You guys are great because you're our first ones, and you can tell all the new ones that we do eventually get it to how to run.
Yes.
So you will be a great resource for them when the time comes.
If you're willing, would you be able to show us around some of your property where the observatory-based stuff is? Or even some telescopes you have around?
We got stuff set up inside here. The observatory's, I don't know if we want you to flip the camera and do that or just use the same thing we're doing now.
Yeah, you can do whatever is comfortable for you.
We're just going to turn this way. I'm going to just do a little flip. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's a flip.
Okay,
There
there's
you
the observatory.
Cool.
And the cover and everything because it's going to rain here in the next day or so.
Yeah.
So there's also another cover inside on top of the telescopes themselves to keep them from the actual moisture. They're specially designed just for that. And then we'll do a little turn around and see if we can catch some of this. I don't know about lighting because we tried to play with lighting earlier, but we try to keep it dark in here all the time. So.
Oh, I see the big one. Yeah, that's what ours looks like too at the library.
This one here is an 8-inch. The ones at the library are 6-inch, so it's a little bit bigger. So you wouldn't want to put out, but heavier.
Yeah,
we'd actually we purchased this used that was going to go to a school because we couldn't find a 6. They weren't available, and we got a really good deal. We got it all ready. Says, well, it is what it is. And then just before we were going to do it, we found a 6-inch. So,
so the school got the.
So they got the 6-inch because they were smaller children too. So this way, this is here. So used when they show up. And there's a smaller, really nice little telescope right there that was brought in pre-pandemic for repairs, and haven't heard from them since. Ready to go, but
That's okay.
we've used it. It works awesome.
Oh, so you do repairs as well?
Yes, we've done several. I don't know if you've seen the live video and the pictures I posted the other day of Stacy Robinson receiving a telescope.
Yes. Okay. I'm putting things together now.
That telescope donated to us by a fellow named Jim. That's all the information he wanted.
Oh, okay.
Does I need it out? You guys do something with it. You could make money. He said, no, we're not selling it. You gave it to us. We gave it to somebody else. And Stacy was the person for it because he was actually going to get this telescope.
Ooh.
My daughter.
Now, yes, the daughter's getting that one now.
Nice.
Stacy's really into it.
Family affair. All of you are into it.
Yes, Jesse's on our team too.
That's awesome.
I've known Stacy for my entire life. We used to party together back in the day. So he's been into the park doing his thing. So he's always asking for help and looking for something. He needed something. So we threw him in the deep end, but we spent all day here the other day repairing it and getting it ready to go and training him on it. So now we got to wait for clouds to clear, of course. Somebody gets a telescope. That's what happens. It gets cloudy. There's just a bunch of information.
This is part of our visitor
cases.
center.
It's wall to wall, the ceiling.
Wow.
This used to be a garage.
Yeah, these are all calendars, astronomical calendars from past. So we just cut them out and hang them up. The pictures.
Neat.
There's no sense wasting such beautiful pictures.
Yeah.
Information on stuff, the solar system, a little game, a couple of our pictures.
Very cool.
And of course, our TVs and stuff. We play our videos and educational things. Yeah.
So if you could if you could give us, if you could give us one fact, just an easy one about space and astronomy, what would you like people to know? I know the sun is a star and so on and so forth, but like, you know, is there anything fun that you think that other people might enjoy learning about today?
One thing in particular, it's pretty hard to narrow down.
Oh my gosh.
One thing, 'cause everything is so.
Come on, guys, you can do it.
Okay.
The fact that we're on a merry-go-round around the galaxy?
No, I know what I'm going to do. Okay. What about the blood?
Oh, you can do that too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We had an opportunity a number of years ago to see David's blood under an electron microscope. It was a live blood culture, and they put a drop of his blood under, and we put it under an electron microscope, and then and it was moving around, and it was to see what.
You know, your red blood cells, your white blood cells, all your. Well, everything, all that stuff. He's explaining it all to us and pointing it out.
And he's looking, and we're looking at it, and I'm thinking, what is it? So I'm going, okay, I don't want to say anything to him to tip him off. I said, honey, what are you seeing in the structures of the blood cell? And he goes, what do you mean, the nebula?
The galaxy.
The galaxies, the comets. I mean, there were structures.
Literally the shapes of these things just
star clusters.
Back the big things out there, because we always see them as small through a telescope.
Mm-hmm.
The perception, the same as small, is the same thing out there, just on a bigger scale.
So as far as I'm concerned, we are so much more connected to what is going on out there than we have any concept of. Because as small as it was, the same structures were in our blood that are out there in space. And it is exactly that. It blew my mind. And this day, I am so happy that we saw that. Now, had I seen something like that when I was in high school, I might have become a phlebotomist. Phlebotomist, I think is what it is. I would have studied the blood. It was so cool.
That is
cool. Yeah. So you never know when you're going to find something that will trigger that moment of, wow, we're connected. And that was it for me. And I assume Dave as well, because we were able to look in that and say, we're seeing the same thing we see when we look through the telescope. That's wild.
That's pretty,
is there any truth to this? I've read things online where they say that people are made of star dust. Is that accurate? Is that right?
Star stuff, yes.
Well, everything on the planet. All the Earth is everything in stuff, on Earth is leftover debris. Like, it's all debris stuff that came when the star was born. When our sun came to life, all the ejected material and stuff.
You have to start kind of from the beginning, sorry.
Okay.
A nebula out in space, gases, clouds, and there's very small particles. Really. If it's too hot, it doesn't do much. It just kind of sits there. When it eventually cools down, everything starts to coalesce as it comes together. And naturally, everything spins. That's just the way the world works. The universe spins. Things start to spin and come down and down and down, connecting, coming down, form a star. And when the star ignites, it forces that ignition forces everything out of the way. So leftovers start forming our solar a solar system. Okay. So when really big stars live for very short periods of time, and they get really, really big, and they explode into supernovas, hypernovas. Well, those stars are where all our metals come from. So everything's created from those. All our gold, platinum, everything.
Okay.
So including us, because we're made of atoms and carbon and all that star stuff. Everything's star stuff.
Everything is star stuff. Absolutely everything.
It kind of feels nice to, yeah, okay, cool.
It's just a matter of how all those things come together to, like, we don't have all the answers. No. So obviously, we're, and we may never. But as far as we know, here, at least on Earth, we're the only species that actually stops to say, hey, what's going on? How did we get here? Most creatures that live on the Earth are intent on
they're there to exist.
They're there to propagate their species. Live their lives. Like we all do. But we only know. It's like I don't think elephants sent. Maybe they do. Maybe they do in their elephant talk. They look up at the sky and they say, "Wow, how did we get here?" But we don't know. Yeah. And we don't know the other animal that does that. And so, we're special in that way. It's just we get an opportunity to appreciate what is out there, because space is so incredibly vast and beautiful. And So somebody gets to see it.
We're pretty fortunate to be able to be at this point in time and place. I know there's a lot of stuff going on, but be able to see the things that we see, the eclipses, I mean, it doesn't get any better, really. I mean,
Yeah.
Just so interesting. And I mean, even though there's so much going on, I think it is amazing that you two have found a way to make sure that people are still able to access that information through Facebook Lives and through, you know, virtual programming, basically. So thank you so much for doing that for all of us, because it takes time, it takes effort, and it's fun to watch and to join. And thank you.
Appreciate what
Yeah,
you do
we
too,
appreciate
Rachel.
you guys. Oh yeah, for sure. It's nice to do it. Yeah, we try really hard to just keep it as light as possible. The moon belongs to the world. So when we're out there doing that, it's just so that the world can see that it's still there, and we're all looking at the same things. We are all part of the human race. And we are all basically just trying to get through our day as best we can. And we try to bring a lot of joy to people for that. And apparently, like when he first suggested that we go live on Facebook, I got to tell you, my reaction was,
I think I got a slap in the back of the head when you crazy.
What are you crazy? Who's going to watch that? Who's going to, like, they're not going to want to listen to us.
Nobody's interested in what we're doing.
And yet I was, and he knows this is the only time he gets told, I was wrong. He was wrong. Doesn't happen often, but in this
Take for the good guys.
But you did make it successful, and people from all, like, not even just people from this community, but people from all over can tune in and see what you're seeing. So it's amazing.
We've had people all over the world tune in and yakking at us.
We had one guy.
Really appreciating the fact because they're either under clouds or it's daylight and they can't see the moon. Or be able to sit down and watch.
We had a guy getting up, I think, in South Africa. Was getting up.
The sun was coming up.
The sun was coming up there, and he was watching the moon with us. Yeah. And it was awesome.
Best of both worlds, right?
We got people in India. We got people from New Zealand, Costa Rica. It's awesome.
They're a constant followers.
And London and
all over the place. They really are.
It's really nice.
That is so cool. Well, thank you both for taking the time to be here with me in Cobourg tonight. And
yes.
And again, this is great. I am Rachel from the Cobourg Public Library, and we have an array of different resources for children, for adults, for youth, anyone interested. And again, we have these amazing lonoscopes that you can see and take out thanks to our friends at Dortwood Observatory. So I'll see you later, guys. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Rachel. It was lovely.
Really
Thanks, everybody, whoever joined in. Not quite sure what we did right or wrong.
So when you close this down, it'll ask you if you want to save it. Just save it.
Okay. Perfect.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Okay, you have to do that.